Hello 6th grade students, how are you today? I hope you are doing well. In our video, we are going to complete our structure of quantifiers by answering the questions in student's book and workbook. So please prepare your books and be ready. So the outcomes of our lesson today, students should be able to revise the rule of quantifiers and the questions on student's book and workbook, page 37. Before start answering the questions on your box, let's make a quick revision about the quantifiers. In a previous lesson, we talked about lots of, a lot of, a few, and a little quantifiers. When can we use lots and a lot of? We said that they have the same meanings and they both used in countable and uncountable nouns, but a few used with plural countable nouns and a little used with uncountable nouns. We can say lots of water or a lot of water, lots of cars, a lot of cars. But with a few, just we use plural countable nouns, a few cards, a few things, a few chairs, a few with plural countable nouns, and a little used with uncountable nouns like a little water, a little milk, a little time, and so on. And now let's answer the questions on Student's Book, page 37. Let's start with number 1. Read the email, then take the true sentences, correct the others. Let's read this email, then we are going to check these sentences if it's correct or incorrect. Last week I went to an Egyptian fancy dress party, حفلة تنكرية. A lot of my friends went as pharaohs and a few people went as slaves. But I wanted to go as something different, so I decided to go as a mummy. I spent a little money on some bandages and then I spent a lot of time wrapping them around me. I looked great. There was one problem. While I was walking to the party, it started to rain and I didn't have an umbrella. When I got to the party, I was covered in lots of wet bandages. I didn't look like a mummy. I was a mess. Number 1. There were more pharaohs at the party than slaves. Look at this sentence. We have a lot of my friends went as pharaohs. Remember the meaning of a lot of. This is a large number of something, but a few, a small amount of something. So this sentence is true. Number 2. The bandages were expensive. In the email we have, I spent a little money on some bandages. A little money means a small amount of money. So this is false. Number 3. It didn't take a long time to put on the mummy costume. Yes, it's false. And the last one, he was wearing wet bandages when he arrived. This is true. Let's move to question number 2. Listen and say the sentences. Here we want to read these sentences, then recognize the quantifiers that we talked about. Number 1, there were a lot of people at the party. People is countable noun. And we use a lot of and we can say lots of. Number 2, there were lots of my friends at the party. So here we use lots of and we can say a lot of my friends. Number 3, there was lots of food. Food is uncountable noun, so we can say lots of or a lot of food. And lots of and a lot of indicates a large number of something. Number 4. There were a few bandages on the floor after the party. A few bandages. Bandages is countable noun, so we use a few. A few for plural countable noun. And the last one, there was a little food left after the party. A little food. Food here, uncountable noun, so we use a little. And don't forget the meaning of a few and a little. They mean, yes, a small amount of something or some. And here we have question number 3. This is an activity for you. You can write sentences by using quantifiers. Like number 1, look at the picture. We can say there is a lot of water. Excellent. Or we can say a little water. In picture 2. What about picture 3? Yes, there are lots of cars, but in picture 4, a few cars. And so on. You can complete the sentences according to the pictures and write them in your notebooks. Now let's move to your workbook, page 37. Let's start with the question number 1. Rewrite the phrases from the box with a lot of, a few, or a little. Like number 1. We have half a spoon of blue powder, so we use a little blue powder. Powder is uncountable noun, so we use a little. 1 kilo of cheese. We have a large number of cheese, so what can we say? Excellent. A lot of cheese. 3 pirates. 3 pirates is a small number of pirates, so we use excellent, a few pirates, because pirates is countable noun. What about 23 tomatoes? 23 tomatoes is a large number of tomatoes, so we use a lot of tomatoes. 30 students. Students is countable noun, so, and we have here lots of students. Excellent, or a lot of students. 3 apples. Apples is countable noun, and we have small number of apples, so we use excellent, a few apples. 5 jars of green liquid. If we want to put jars, we can say what? Excellent, a few jars of green liquid, but if we want to delete the word jars, we can say a little green of liquid, because liquid is uncountable noun, so we use a little, but if we want to put jars, we say a few. 4 bananas. 4 bananas. This is countable noun, and we have a small number of bananas, or amount of bananas, so we say a few bananas. And the last one, 25 grams of cheese. We have a small amount of cheese, so let's think about it. Cheese, this is countable or uncountable? Excellent, this is uncountable noun, so we use a little cheese. Now let's move to question number 2. Complete the sentences and match them with the pictures. Here we have sentences. We want to complete them by using a correct quantifier. Then we will match the correct sentence with a correct picture. Like number 1, there was only a little water in the pool. Look at picture E. We have a little water in the pool. Okay, what about number 2? There was what? Food in the fridge. Look at the food in the fridge in picture A. Excellent. A lot of or lots of food. Number 3. There were only what? People at the concert. Here we have a concert and there were. So People is plural countable noun. We use a few people at the concert. Number 4. There was what? Cheese in the fridge. Look at picture B. We have there was a little cheese. Yes. Number 5. There were what? People at the concert. Here we have there were what? Excellent. A lot of people. We have large number of people in picture D. Number 6. There were what? Bottles of juice in the fridge. Look at picture C. Yes, there were a few bottles of juice in the fridge. Now, what about question number 3? This is the last question in this page. Look at the pictures and write sentences. We want to write sentences by using quantifiers according to these pictures here. Like number 1. Look at picture number 1. We have a large number of frogs, so there are lots of frogs at the pool. What about picture number 2? We have a small number of frogs, so we use excellent, a few. The sentence is, there are a few frogs in the pool. What about picture 3? We have a small amount of water, and water is uncountable noun, so we use excellent, a little. There is a little water in the vase. And the last picture, this is number 4, we have a large amount of water, so we use lots of or a lot of. There is a lot of or lots of water in the vase, and water is singular because it's uncountable noun. That's it for today. Write the answers in your box and be ready for the next class.